There's a lot going on. And when we see it through the light of God's love, we begin to see that love, by its very nature, generates two realities. The one reality is a positive response for those who are open to receive and respond to love. The other opposite, contradictory reality is sadly, tragically, opposition to love, where there's an antagonism, there's an hostility to love. And that's the case in our gospel today. We see through the light all of these realities floating in the air, which are actually realities that constitute a battle, spiritual in nature, spiritual warfare. Unseen but real warfare, conflict, battle. The Lord is, of course, love, divine and human love itself. And He comes to do what love does, which is to create and to restore when creation has fallen, to heal, to enlighten, to transform. But those who are opposed to love have either been instrumental in the fall of creation or have contributed to or an obstacle to the healing, the restoring of that fallen creation. Who is instrumental in the fall? The Lord says it very clearly in the gospel today. Actually, Pope Francis has made quite a sensation of himself lately in the last 6 months because he's actually used the word devil or Satan on a handful of occasions, you know. Jesus would never say that. Oh, really? Reread the gospel. Let's hear it again. Satan has been responsible for burdening this woman. Satan has afflicted her. There's an end. Suddenly we see in the light something we didn't see before. An angelic intelligence that's malevolent that is responsible for this woman's infirmity. Somehow is a part of pain, human pain and sorrow and suffering. And yet, that angelic intelligence is assisted by a human intelligence, also malevolent, that seeks to undermine, contradict, oppose, be an obstacle to what the love of the Lord wants to do in the face of this woman's infirmity, which is to bring her what? Healing. Healing, relief, restore her from this pain, this suffering, this sorrow. In some translations of the gospel, when he's opposed by the religious authorities for daring to heal, to show this, to manifest this love on the Sabbath, he says to them, think about it. Think about it. 18 years she's been suffering with this infirmity, with this burden. What is he saying to them at that moment? Look, who's left out of the picture? So far we've got Jesus, and we've got Satan, we've got the religious authorities who are opposing what Jesus wants to do. Who's left out of the picture in everyone's mind except Jesus? The woman. Who's thinking about her? Only the Lord. Only the Lord. Satan is afflicting her. The others, the religious authorities, apparently couldn't care less about her. They're just concerned about their rules, regulations. Forget about love. Forget about human compassion in the face of suffering and human pain and tragedy. Oh, you shouldn't do this on a Sabbath. But what does he bring to the picture? What does Jesus bring to the picture? The Lord brings love. Love. And love, divine and human, united mysteriously in his person. That love, in the face of human misery, becomes mercy itself. He brings merciful love. And that merciful love that combines pity and compassion, that mercy heals by its very nature. He comes to her, he sees her first of all, and he touches her, and it changes everything in her life. And so as we look at our lives and our relationship with the Lord in the light of that love that filters into our lives, we see all of the things going on in our life, in the air, as it were. And we see that, yes, sometimes there's a conflict, sometimes there's a battle, and Satan is involved. And the human element that would oppose the Lord is involved, would contradict and conflict with, and be an obstacle to what he wants to do for us in the face of evil and human sorrow and pain and suffering. But in the end, the Lord, what's the word used in the gospel today? Shame. He puts that opposition to shame. That's where it belongs. Shame. Because the failure to love can only be removed. And that removal is that shame. Until you learn how to love, be ashamed because your life isn't worth living. Only the Lord gives us that purpose in life, which is to love. The love that brings healing. The love that brings compassion. The love that brings transformation from human pain and sorrow and suffering to joy. So today we insert Charlie and Carmela into this gospel because we know that they are now in the mystery of this light. She is in that light that restores, that heals, that transforms, that brings life, life in abundance, life that will never end. All opposition, all conflict to that has been eradicated. She is in the joy of the mystery of God's compassionate and merciful love. May that same love envelop you, Charlie, as it envelops us in this Eucharist today. Each and every one of us, as the light of God's love pours into our hearts, bring, as it brought to this woman with her 18-year infirmity, healing. The healing, the peace, the restoration, the strength, and the renewal of joy that only love, the divine and human love, the love of the Lord himself, can bring to you. Now, always and forever. Amen.